People keep asking me, why do you focus so much on early Zionists like Herzl and Nordau? And it's because you don't realize how much their ideologies shaped the modern state of Israel. Yes, you know that Herzl is the founder of the World Zionist Congress, but most of you don't even know who Nordau was, even though he was the co-founder. There's been a concerted effort to erase the distasteful parts of the ideology, even though they are still impacting us to this day. For example, Nordau's Muscular fundamentally shaped Israeli culture and society, particularly when it comes to the virulence of the new Jew versus the old Jew and the dedication to the IDF. But I can tell you this right now, most Zionists have never read the works of Nordau, especially because most Zionists are actually Christian, but that's not the point. Remember, in his little internal hierarchy where he and Herzl were at the top, and then there was the Kaffeehausjuden who were overfed on Western decadence. They were fat, they were unhealthy, they spent too much time in the coffee house drinking and talking about politics. And then under that was the Ostjuden, who are physically decrepit, diseased, mentally chained to the ghetto. They had the physical bodies of weakness and patheticness, and they needed to go outside. And so his answer to this was muscular Judaism, or Muskeljudentum, which had nothing to do with the spirituality of Judaism and everything to do with eugenics and creating the physical body. This is an Eloise check-in, by the way. You should follow me. Okay, bye. Much like many other 1900s ideologues, he believed that the regeneration of the physical body would happen through sports and hiking, and especially gymnastics. He had this idea of what the ideal Jew looked like, and it was a muscular gymnast who, of course, was modeled after ancient Greek fitness. By the way, this is Laboratory for World Destruction, Germans and Jews in Central Europe, published by the Vidal Sassoon International Center for the Study of Anti-Semitism. And this is the specific chapter called Max Nordau, From Degeneration to Muscular Judaism, published by the University of Nebraska Press. Remember, Herzl and Nordau had watched the anti-Jewish bigotries around them, which were very real, but instead of deciding, wow, bigotry is baseless and disgusting, they went, yeah, they're right a little bit about Jews. Quote, for Nordau, the central goal of Zionism remained the transformation of Jewry into robust, healthy, and virile individuals capable of rebuilding themselves and revitalizing the Jewish people in Zion. This required extirpating everything that was effeminate, weak, cowardly, sickly, unhygienic, alienated from nature, and desexualized. The Yiddish language, traditional Jewish piety, over-intellectualism, cynicism, and resignation had to be fought against in the name of the new code of honor and chivalry. Another important quote. What especially angered Nordau was their questioning of the European character of the Jewish future state and its need to transplant the best of Western culture to the Eastern Mediterranean. Not for a moment could Nordau, the great critic of European decadence, envisage an Orientalization of the Zionist project. Modern anti-Semitism might have transformed Jews into Orientals or Asiatic strangers in Europe, but in the Middle East, they were expected by Nordau to be fully fledged Europeans. Their task was to push forward the moral frontiers of Europe to the Euphrates. In this Eurocentric colonial vision, Zionism would be forming a civilizing mission in Asia Minor, similar to that of the British in India. Ideologists know that Nordau's ideas are terrifying and gross, so they sweep them under the rug, but they still keep the results. His obsession with physicality and athleticism resulted in the creation of gym clubs and sports leagues that still exist to this day, and the ideas behind it, this idea of the strong, virile, new Jew, is still around in Israeli society. Look at the images coming out of Zionist accounts right now of the strong lion of Judah, right, baring its teeth at us pathetic, weak diaspora Jews. Look at the social shunning and the violence faced by Orthodox Jews in Israel who do not serve in the IDF, who are morally opposed to it, who are religiously opposed to it, right? This idea of being religious enough, but also secular enough, just as Herzl intended, just as Nordau intended, is absolutely woven into the fabric of modern Israeli society. Societally and socially, Nordau's ideas are still ingrained in the public consciousness, even though the average person on the street couldn't tell you a single thing about them.